Everyone, welcome to Quick Served. We're shooting this as the speeches are being made. And listen, if you have a pulse, you have to respect the redemption story that we saw today from Jannik Sinner. I'll tell you when I think I'm right. I'm going to tell you when I'm wrong. I did not see it going that clearly in Sinner's direction on this surface. I just really didn't. He played such a tactically sound match, pulled the trigger at the right times up the line, but dominated the middle of the court, right? What can he do is consistently create pace and speed through the court without needing, the variety and the spins that Carlos Alcaraz has mastered. We talked about it yesterday. If he extends the court sideline to sideline, that also allows Carlos to mix it up a little bit. Did an amazing job hitting behind Alcaraz when the backhand line was available, right? Would stick one cross court with the forehand. And then if Carlos hit a good ball, it was late when he broke in the fourth set, the two shots that he hit to break serve, maybe two of the best backhands considering the circumstances that you'll ever see. Fading away off his back foot, Carlos kind of going from forehand, and then leaning left because that's where any normal human could hit it. Sinner forces it line and hits a clean winner against the fastest guy on earth on a tennis court. So that's one. And the next one gets a second serve, kick to the backhand, going away from him, finds space line and finds like a shot path flat where it's almost like going away from Sinner and it lands inside the service line. Right? It was just those two shots. My jaw was on the floor. Like it was just phenomenal. And listen, people are we're gonna nitpick at the Carlos. Was it his best serving day? Absolutely not. And that created a lot of space for Sinner to kind of control the complex of the points a little bit more. But also the two serves that he hit. And listen, after what happened at Roland Garros, and then to have Alcaraz 15-40 on his serve when he's 2 holds away from the Wimbledon title, hitting two massive serves that catch the back fifth of the box to the forehand side, up the radar gun to 110 plus. Just clutch as clutch can be, right? And you could see Darren Cahill standing up and down, like everyone knew it, right? And they haven't faded away from the fact that what happened at Roland Garros. They're like, yeah, we're just going to go on with it. Listen back to the episode we did with Darren in the fallout, and it was just, listen, I'm a huge fan of both of these guys. I'm happy for all their successes. Couldn't have been more impressed with Jannik Sinner. He's carrying the physical load of trying to beat Alcaraz on this surface. His third final in 3 years and winning 2 of them. And then you can talk about how you've moved on from Roland Garros. That scar tissue doesn't go away just because you want it to, right? Overcoming that mental scar tissue, especially in that fourth set, was just an amazing, amazing display of grit, belief, and will ultimately, be the redemption story. And what a summer of European tennis that we got to see. These two are 22 and 23. We get to see this for another decade, Mike.
I know. And to think, right, we finished with one facing two in the 2 slams, right, in a 5-week period. But all of the stuff that happened in between there over the past 2 months has just been, it's been incredible. And the takeaway for me is, Sinner, I don't think had an ace until maybe the 3rd set, and Carlos had 15 aces compared to 8. But really, you said something to me on the phone. We were talking kind of mid-match. You said that Sinner was really just trying not to allow Carlos to get to that second serve of his so he could step up. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Because I once you said that, I started to realize what you meant by that strategically.
Well, listen, people are going to be like, Carlos was double faulting, and he absolutely was. Carlos Alcaraz, if he's playing producer Mike, will go years without missing a second serve. Right? It is a byproduct of what's happening and reacting to the Sinner of things on the other side of the court. It looked like Sinner was a little bit more conservative with his first serve, going to bigger targets with the pace, not resulting in first serve, but putting more of a premise on that serve +1. But I'm guessing that's a decision that was made because they didn't want Carlos dancing on second serves, right? He didn't want to have to defend it over and over, and he did a great job defending it. I mean, we already mentioned those insanely just nuts like melons serves in the fourth set to Carlos's forehand. He was also trying to spread the court a lot on that deuce side, right? You could tell that if he got pinched, he wanted the space on that first ball. Even when he was kind of the chips were down in the fourth set, he was taking it wide. Isner, James Blake, Marty Fish, and I are on a group text. And, when matches like this happen, obviously we all start chirping. I got to give credit to Isner, man. He was all aboard the Sinner train this morning, right? I don't like to give him credit, those guys credit for anything. And so I have to DoorDash pizzas to his house later tonight because he knows more than I did today about this matchup, and certainly saw something that I didn't. One of the other things that I think was really smart from Jannik Sinner and kind of this storyline of controlling the middle of the court with as much pace as possible is it kept the movement a little bit mitigated, right? Like he wasn't opening up the sideline to sideline. Alcaraz moves better on a grass court, right? It's a little bit more fluent, but it just wasn't at as much of a premium because Jannik did such a good job of controlling the middle of the court with pace, which you have to against Alcaraz. It makes everything tougher, including the best drop shot in the world. It is hard. We've said it earlier this week. Techie Sean and I were talking about in one of the quick serve episodes. It's really hard to hit drop shots when the pace is increased, right? When you're set and someone has to split step and sink to play defense, it's a little easier to maneuver it. When it's coming off of a ball like Sinner was hitting today, it makes it a lot more challenging, right? You have to hit it further. You can't hit these deft little shots. You need that kind of like check step from your opponent to pause to then make it the most effective version of himself. So, Sinner did a couple of things, right? Kept him away from second serves, made it to where it wasn't a movement contest sideline to sideline by virtue of pace, and also that pace largely covered up Alcaraz's ability to hit those drop shots. I think that, if we're nitpicking, Carlos probably could have abandoned that play a little bit earlier. It feels like he stuck with it. I think he won like 3 out of 9 attempts on drop shots, which, listen, we're all dummies. He knows how to use it. It's just it's a lot easier from where we're sitting than in real time. But those little margins make a massive difference in this. And now, Sinner's getting to his best surface. It's weird to say when he had match points at Roland Garros and kind of really, really dominated at times this Wimbledon final. And now he gets to his favorite surface of hard court. So we can take a little bit of a breath, right? It's not going to be on us in 2 weeks. But, man, I'm just full of gratitude and appreciation, something I said after Roland Garros for these two. And I hope we get, the new normal of these guys playing till 35, 36, 37, 38 years old. We'd certainly be spoiled for choice at that point. But Carlos Alcaraz also lost his first Grand Slam final ever. Like how impressive is that? Right? I mean, that's just amazing. There's a lot to be proud of if you're in the Alcaraz camp. He's going to win. It's funny. I remember being at the U.S. Open the first year that Alcaraz won, and going into like the quarters, the hype machine was rightfully just out of control. Right? People come out to me and go, "Is this guy going to win 10 majors?" And they would say it. I'm like, man, Borg won 11 majors. Are we just going to hand this kid 10 majors nonchalantly? Like, I have a hard time doing that and going there. And if you tell me if he's going to win majors, yeah, he's going to win majors. Just throwing out 10, 12, is he going to match the big three? I'm going, that's crazy. Easier to sit here now and say, you know what, he's going to win 10 majors. He's going to.
I mean, we might see these two guys in New York in the same setup. I mean, it's just the way they both play each other. I mean, why not if they're healthy?
Yeah, I mean, Sinner's going to be the overwhelming favorite when you get back to a hard court for sure. He's been dominant on that surface. and we said, the whole game, we've talked about it before in the show, is can they steal these titles from the other's favorite surfaces, right? Can he steal one on clay at Roland Garros? Can he steal it on grass, which, has largely been Carlos's domain for the last 3 years? He's beaten, Novak the last 2 years to kind of take the mantle from him. And now Sinner got in and stole one. Can Carlos go to New York and steal one from Sinner chicken dinner? But with all that he's had to go through mentally in the last year, I mean, my sigh of relief would have been a lot louder than what Sinner did. I mean, I would have been screaming to the heavens. A mixture of joy, relief, anger, all of those things. But he's classier than most, I'll tell you that. So is Carlos Alcaraz. He knew what Jannik went through after Roland Garros. He fully understood. And although he wasn't happy, I like seeing them converse at the net. I like seeing the footage of them always, being extremely friendly and cordial when they're at the practice courts and they see each other. When you hear Darren Cahill talking about the rivalry, when you hear Juan Carlos Ferrero talking about the rivalry, I think everyone fully understands the significance of these two. And listen, they're the stewards towards the future of our sport, along with Iga and Coco and, others. But it's just special to watch. I'm really happy for Jannik Sinner. I not on the same level at all, but I know what it feels like to be close and not get it there. I'm happy he had his moment of redemption. Really happy for him. I think he goes about it the right way. Carlos Alcaraz, stud of all studs. Just amazing. This won't be his last Wimbledon final, and he hasn't won his last Wimbledon title either. Can't wait for the full recap show. We'll be out on our normal time on Tuesday. I'll be responding to some of the other noise that's been posted on X very soon, but certainly not going to disrespect Wimbledon Sunday for an attention grab. We'll see you next time on Quick Serve. Thanks for sticking with us these 2 weeks. Cheers.